Hello, welcome everyone to the DNA show. Today I have my best buddy Anu with me.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Welcome to the DNA show. I hope you all had a great time listening to us in the previous episodes. We're going to put out a brand new episode today, and I am sure you're going to love it. So, Dave, what are we discussing today?
So Anu, today let's talk about something that everybody likes to talk about, right? And everybody fantasizes and romances with it. Uh, Something that even we have talked about a lot, have done nothing about it, which is weight loss, right? Everybody loves to talk about it. And today we have our friend Nikhil with us here, who actually did something about it.
Oh, yes.
So,
absolutely.
Nikhil, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dave.
So, Nikhil, now just to put things into context for the listeners, you you weighed about 140 kgs just about 2 years back, right?
Yeah.
And today you weigh at what, 70?
Yes.
That's straight 50% discount.
Half of
मतलब
Nikhil is
ये
gone.
ये Amazon का Great Indian Festival है, right? कि
Yeah.
You managed to lose half of yourself in like 2 years.
Yeah.
And listeners, to put context to it, you can go to our Instagram page where we have before and after images of Nikhil, his whole diet plan, his whole weekly schedule, and how he went through this, which he's going to talk about on this episode. So just stay tuned in, buckle up for this. Nikhil, on to you. So 140 kgs, right? I'm sure things were not great back then. Why did you decide to take things in your control? What was that influx point?
It's a very deep question, at least for me. Now, just to give you a little bit of background, right?
Sure.
I'm married, fortunately, is what my wife said.
Still.
To say. And I have a beautiful daughter. She was about 7.5, 8 years old,
Okay.
2 years back. And she was someone who is the center of world for me.
Sure, absolutely.
Once I was climbing back 6 floors.
Okay.
The lift wasn't working, and I could hardly hold on to my breath. That's when my daughter said, Papa, will you be with me forever?
Wow.
Oh, that's some
Deep.
very deep shit, man.
Yeah. And I never wanted at any point in time not to be there for my family.
Absolutely.
That was a place where I thought, hey, let's look at life a little differently, and let's jump into the crazy world of weight loss.
Exactly right. I mean,
Fitness.
and you just did not jump in, right? You went into the deep side. From 140 to 70 wouldn't have been easy journey. Here, Anu and I have been struggling to lose 5 kgs, and you straight away lost half of yourself.
I know it really sounds amazing, but it's not without its own ups and downs. The start is always the hardest,
Okay.
like everything that you do in life. It's a lot of self-discovery is what I had to do. And that started with following fads of trying gym on January 1st.
The usual cliches.
Yeah, the usual cliches. Hiring, a
Instructor.
trainer,
Yeah.
then going to a dietitian, trying some amazing new foods, which probably I've never tried in my life.
Okay.
And that's amazing with a little bit of sarcasm. So yeah, that's how my journey started.
Okay.
It was at a point where I was 120 kgs.
Okay.
So when I started my journey, I put on an additional 20, and
Oh,
then
wow.
the actual change happened.
Okay, so this is COVID days, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
So you after becoming conscious about your body, You gained another 20 kgs.
Yes.
And is that usual?
I can't say it's usual, but it's something that people really face in today's life.
Hmm.
When you're trying to move the needle,
Hmm.
it's not easy. And that's where, you kind of fall into the pitfalls of what I call the bad side of really losing weight.
Okay.
Hmm.
Weight loss is not really natural at times,
Hmm.
because when you talk about weight loss, it's about deprivation, and deprivation of various things that you probably like and enjoy doing. And that's where it's kind of you're punishing yourself to probably get something better tomorrow.
Hmm.
Got it.
So
Yeah.
because it's delayed gratification,
Hmm.
it's not something that people are really excited for
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
really want to do.
And that is what makes it difficult.
Yes.
Anu, you are saying something.
Yeah, I think 2020, when
Hmm.
I lost my dad due to a heart attack, I think that's where even my journey started of thinking about being fit, like
Hmm.
you know losing someone you love so much, and then it's like a dark place that you go into. And I realized that I'm being a father, right? A similar thought came into my mind: what if I'm not there for my son, right? And that's when even I decided that I need to do something about it, although it took me 2 years to
Get
start the
started
journey.
with it.
But yeah, and it was not January 1st, Feb 1st for me, because I didn't want to be a part of that cliched group of January 1st mein gym jayega kya.
Did it
So I
change anything?
yeah, I've lost around 15 kgs. No, sorry, 18 kgs so far.
Very good.
So yeah, I mean, still a work in progress, but yeah, since Nikhil is the expert here, so
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
wanna kind
No,
of
we
know.
appreciate your 18 kgs of loss.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
thank you.
and and I'm not an expert. But you can look at me as someone who you don't want to model, but someone who can kind of provide you with certain tools that might be able to help and make your journey a little easy, so you
Yes,
don't gain that 20 kgs.
an
So,
inspiration,
yeah,
at least
exactly.
for me.
So that's why he's here, right? I
Yep.
mean, for us personally, he's an inspiration because he has achieved something in a journey where everybody's still trying to kickstart their engines.
Yep.
That's how I look at it. See, everybody, Nikhil, everybody does that, right? Everybody
Yeah.
starts it. Everybody thinks that I want to have those six pack abs. I want to have that freaky
Chiseled
body.
body.
Yeah, I want to have that uh, body where I can go around without a shirt. Everybody fantasizes with it, but very few do anything for it. And most of us either procrastinate or get dejected by the first point of failure. How does that work? I mean, how did you keep up with this journey?
And that's where you bring up a really nice point. Ideally, you shouldn't fantasize a six pack ab,
Hmm.
because we all have lives that
Hmm.
we live,
Hmm.
right? We are not people who earn their bread and butter,
Hmm.
who only spend time in the gym, and who only are focused enough to work on their body, because
Hmm.
their body is where they kind of get their income. I think our goal, it has to be improving our overall health and wellness.
Hmm.
So those are the two things that I kind of learned over a period of time to kind of
Hmm.
focus on.
Okay.
In Matrix, I don't know if you remember or if you've seen that movie.
Hmm.
That's where Morpheus and Keanu Reeves,
Hmm.
who is Neo, they're having their first fight
Correct.
in the Matrix.
Yeah.
uh Keanu Reeves says, this is Matrix, this is not real, right?
Yeah.
And he says yes, and they fight, and he starts bleeding from his nose.
Correct.
And he says, but you said this wasn't real. And that's where Morpheus says, it's your mind that makes it real.
Correct.
And that's exactly what happens to your body,
Yeah. The
right?
connection. What you mean is basically the connection between the mind, body, and the soul.
Yeah, very true.
Hmm.
So it's very important to understand your own happiness,
Hmm.
your own point of sassy happiness, and where you're really satisfied with it.
Hmm.
And that's where you kind of start building your journey. Now,
Okay.
before you build your journey, right, you need to understand that there's a difference between weight loss and fat loss. You should
Okay.
always aim for fat loss than weight loss. Weight loss can be you losing muscle mass,
Hmm.
you losing water,
Okay.
or you losing even your bone density,
Hmm.
right?
And it
All
is
of
not good.
it's really bad.
And does that really happen? Like you lose bone density?
Yes, you do. It's because people go on crazy diets
Hmm.
which their body is not able to maintain,
Okay.
Okay.
and that's a frequent problem that happens, and that's where you kind of see people kind of failing, because your body is designed in a way where if your body is not happy,
Hmm.
it pushes you to do things that you would not want to do.
Like, if you can just
Like,
elaborate.
yeah, sure. So I don't know if you've ever had it, right? When you're on a very good diet,
Hmm.
you've been very consistent for the entire day.
Hmm.
Right after the dinner, you feel like, yaar, kuch meetha kha leta hu.
Hmm.
You stop yourself,
Hmm.
right? You're mentally trying to stop yourself, but at the end of the day, you go in the kitchen and you find something sweet and you put it in your mouth,
Yes,
Hmm.
your body
right?
craves for it.
Your body is pushing you to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Similarly, when there are any kind of nutrient deficiencies
Hmm.
that arises from being on a very strict diet,
Hmm.
you will go into that space where you will have cravings of things,
Hmm.
and that will make you
Hmm.
more prone to falling into the pitfalls.
Okay.
Okay. But tell me something here. Like, I haven't had some. If I follow my diet through the day and eat a chocolate bar at night,
Yeah.
will that affect my body more, or will having a continuous bad lifestyle affect my body more?
So it's always one thing will not make it bad,
Hmm.
but that one thing will make some changes in your body
Hmm.
that will further have a domino effect. So chocolate is a great example. With chocolate, what you do is you consume a lot of sugar.
Hmm.
With that sugar, insulin would spike in your body.
Hmm.
Now, because insulin is already spiked in your body,
Hmm.
you would feel that you would want to eat something more.
Okay.
More of
Bec-
chocolate.
You can, no, more of chocolate, more of high calorie foods.
Anything that satiates your craving that time.
Yes, yes. So that's what it triggers. Your stomach will be full,
Hmm.
and when uh, say it's about 1 hour, right?
Hmm.
Some of your food is digested,
Hmm.
but your insulin has not really gone down.
Okay.
And then you would feel like going into the snack box, picking up something
Yeah.
like save bhujia,
Yeah.
eating that, and then you feel full, but your insulin is already spiked and it is still spiked with the food that you've already eaten. So it creates a cycle
Hmm.
where you constantly give your body food when
Hmm.
it's not really required.
Okay. Let's see just if I understand this right. So when we talk about cravings, these cravings are nothing but insulin spikes in our body.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Nutrient. So either insulin or something or the other,
Hmm.
which kind of creates a little bit of, imbalance in your body,
Hmm.
which has to be balanced with something else.
Okay.
So uh, when insulin is spiked, you need more food.
Hmm.
When you don't have enough calcium,
Hmm.
you feel like eating things that have calcium.
Biting your nails.
Yeah. So that's how
Okay.
your body triggers a few things,
Okay.
and it's very intelligent to know what you would need.
Okay. And how do you get these things straight, basically?
So first you fix is the most difficult part,
Hmm.
that is discipline.
Hmm.
Then you have to fix is your metabolism.
Okay. Two very heavy terms. Do you mind
Yeah.
elaborating a bit on both of them?
Sure. So our body
Okay.
is a machine
Hmm.
which needs things on a timely basis. Okay.
Okay.
So our body functions the best when it has a timetable to follow.
Hmm.
when it knows food is coming in,
Hmm.
at what time my bodily functions would pause,
Hmm.
like I go to sleep,
Hmm.
what time I get up.
Hmm.
So that begins a rhythm
Hmm.
within your body, right?
Hmm.
So it's no longer waiting. Will I get food now, or will I get it after 1 hour?
Hmm.
Will I sleep now, or
Hmm.
do I have to keep the engines running for another half an hour?
So it's like the digestive system releases juices, right?
Yeah,
Which is, so if you don't eat timely, that's when you get acidity,
yeah.
right?
So similarly, right, fixing the rhythm of your body
Hmm.
helps you with fixing both your metabolism
Hmm.
and gaining discipline.
So, okay, it's like this. Again, my layman brain is just throwing this question out. Uh, your body knows that your body has a certain food time, right?
Yeah,
Whether you know it or not, your body knows it. If you eat at 1, if you eat your lunch at 1 p.m., at most times, your body notes that as your lunchtime.
Yes.
So if you continuously skip your 1 p.m. lunch to maybe a 1:30 or a 2:30, it is not healthy
yeah,
because your body is waiting at 1 p.m. It
yeah.
is producing those juices which are required to
Correct,
digest your food.
correct.
And when you delay it, you basically basically leads to acidity and other body
Other
issues.
problems, yeah.
Okay. So the first thing you're saying is follow a timetable and stick with it.
Yeah, create a structure to your life
Hmm.
and make sure at least 90 to 95% of the time you stick
Hmm.
to that structure, which means you get up at X time,
Hmm.
you have your breakfast at X, you have your lunch at
Hmm.
X, then so on and so forth, and you go back to sleep at that one point.
And Nikhil, you have a healthy corporate life, right?
Yes.
Like most of us out there, you have a living job, you have a
Yeah.
full time job. How do you manage this? Because meetings can come up at any point of time in the day.
Yeah.
How did you manage this?
It's not easy, really, to manage, but we've always heard this saying, right? I wish I had 26 hours. I wish I had
Yes.
28 hours,
Yes.
right? It's a testimony,
Hmm.
in my opinion, of how bad you are with your managing of time.
Exactly. Yep.
It's not that we don't have sufficient time. It's what we do with the time that we have,
Hmm.
right? And that's what I said, right? That you can. It's not a system where you will be able to manage it for 100% of the time.
Hmm.
There is no reason why you cannot manage it 90% of the time.
Okay. So
So
I'm sorry. I had a question. Like, how does your routine go by? Like, how do you wake up? What do you do?
okay, so the most important thing is to sleep. So let me start from there.
Very
So
good.
yeah, so I make sure that after 9:30
Hmm.
or 10, I don't do anything that involves my phone,
Hmm.
entertainment, anything of that sort. Right? I lie down on the bed.
Hmm.
I might have a small conversation with my spouse,
Hmm.
and by 10:30 ish, by the time she's speaking, it's so nice. I always fall off to sleep. So
You're a brave man.
yeah. so that kind of helps me to get up at about 5:30, 6 o'clock, which is pretty naturally without any alarm. uh, I get up in the morning. Once I get up, I would either have a few almonds,
Okay.
and probably a little bit of water, and then I would wake my daughter up
Hmm.
and go for a walk.
So when you say few almonds, do you count the number of almonds that you have?
Yeah. So I have about 8 almonds in the morning
Okay.
And they're
and
the
one
soaked
glass,
almonds.
yeah, soaked almonds.
Okay.
So I have those 8 soaked almonds and one regular size glass of warm water.
Hmm.
Then I go for a walk. I generally walk for about, give or take, 1 hour, 1 hour, 20 minutes on an average.
Hmm.
Then, 3 times. So once I'm back, is when I would have breakfast.
Okay.
My breakfast usually involves more of Maharashtrian style breakfasts.
Hmm.
So either poha or chila, which
Okay.
is besan chila.
Yep.
I understand that. Yeah.
So that, or maybe some omelette,
Okay.
and then I get ready for work.
Hmm.
I take my tiffin
Hmm.
and I go to work. So
Okay.
in my tiffin, I generally carry a lot of raw vegetables,
Okay.
salads,
Hmm.
anything that is in season in terms of fruits,
Hmm.
and maybe a dal or a sabzi that
Hmm.
I really like.
Hmm.
Uh, my lunch time is at 12:30,
Hmm.
and I make sure that there are no meetings scheduled around that time.
Hmm.
In the best thing about corporate world is, you put things on your calendar.
Yeah. So you
Yes.
block
Yeah.
your calendar.
So I have blocked my calendar
Very good. Very, very
for
efficient
that.
way of doing
Yeah.
this. I'm
So
telling you.
for that half an hour,
Hmm.
I have blocked my calendar as a recurring invite
Beautiful.
to ensure that no one can block that time.
And that's your lunchtime.
That's my lunchtime, and I'll
Hmm.
go and I don't wait for anyone.
And I'm sure once people start your the people around you start understanding it,
Yeah.
they really are not surprised with it.
Yeah.
They know at least, and I'm sure most of them appreciate that somebody is taking such a decision for themselves, right?
Such
Yeah.
efforts.
Yeah.
Yeah. They kind of support your
Yeah.
people around you will support you for that.
Hmm.
After that, at about 3 3:15 3:30 is when I generally have a 10-minute breather,
Hmm.
and in that 10 minutes I would have the fruits that I've carried in my tiffin,
Okay.
and after that, about say 6 at 6 p.m, 6:15 six
Hmm.
thirty, around that time I ensure that I have at least a handful of nuts, which is either your grams or
Okay.
peanuts or uh, any low nuts which are readily available,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
uh, so I have that.
Hmm.
Then I travel back home,
Hmm.
and at about 9 is
Hmm.
when I have my dinner.
And again, very basic food.
Yeah,
Normal.
dinner. My dinner is basically dal,
Hmm.
chawal,
Hmm.
and a little bit of ghee. That's it. So one small portion
Hmm.
of dal, chawal, ghee.
Okay. You know what surprises me the most amongst all of these things?
Yeah.
You are not eating anything which is specific to a diet. You're not eating anything that is either a keto or, I mean, in your entire menu, I did not hear words like tofu. I did not hear words like
Avocado.
avocados. I did not hear of terms like sprouted pulses,
Yeah.
which the usual diets have, right? I did not hear soup. I did not hear about hot water with ginger, lemon, honey.
Yeah. And and it came after a lot of discovery. It's not that I've not tried it and it doesn't help. It
Okay,
does.
okay.
It does. But what I have seen in
Hmm.
my journey is going back to my roots.
Okay.
So my ancestors,
Hmm.
they were in temples,
Hmm.
and what they did was kind of serve the Lord,
Hmm.
and the food source for them was bhiksha. So they
Correct.
used to
Which is
travel
the Indian
the Indian
traditional way.
tradition.
Yeah.
So their bodies
Hmm.
were accustomed to
Hmm.
having only food that can kind of fit in two palms.
Okay.
Hmm.
So my ancestors for
Hmm.
hundreds of years
Hmm.
have only had that much food,
Okay.
and they were able to sustain their life with that much food.
Hmm.
My body is a blueprint of that,
Yeah, I understand that sort of. Yeah.
and that's why I need to understand that my body does not need so much food
Hmm.
to sustain itself. Now, it came after a lot of discovery, a lot of trial and error, which is going to happen in the initial few months.
When you will increase the 20
Yes,
kgs.
when you increase that 20 kgs, right? You will have to kind of figure out a way to get that balance, get that rhythm, and to ensure that you are not hungry. So one of the books that I read, and probably I'll send you the name, which you can probably link
Yeah,
it.
yeah, please, yeah, we will.
In that book, right, the most important takeaway
Hmm.
that I had
Hmm.
was to ensure that you remain happy,
Hmm.
you create rhythm,
Hmm.
and you you don't eat till you're full. You eat till the time you're not hungry.
Okay.
Oh, it's so deep, man.
Yeah. So at least in the last 1.5 closer to 2 years,
Hmm.
I have never had a meal where I was full.
Wow.
I have had meals where I'm not hungry anymore.
Oh, okay. So let me just take one step back and understand what you have said in the last 1 minute, right? So you're saying your body, because your body's genetics are a blueprint of your ancestors, and your ancestors never consumed things like French fries and burgers and pizzas and pastas. Uh, Even if you try to adapt these things in your normal life, your body will never be able to accept them,
Yeah.
right? Even if you try to have healthy pastas, which a lot of ketogenic diets suggest, right?
Yeah.
uh, Pastas made of suji, pastas made of other different kinds of flours, which people sort of try to adapt to their life. Your body will not be able to adjust with it
Yeah.
because your genetic make is not sort of built on that foundation. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. Very honest. And the thing about all these things, right, is there are always trends of diet. You'll
Yeah,
have about seven
Yeah.
to eight trends of diet
at any point in
at
time.
any point in time. Every 2-3 years, those names would change, but they will keep repeating itself.
Yeah, I remember the GM diet, which was
Yeah.
very famous.
Yes. And your GMs, your ketos, all these diets, right?
Intermittent.
Intermittent fasting, right? All of these, do a little more harm in my case
Okay.
than it did good. It's all to do with ensuring that your body gets the required nutrients, and your body can process food
Hmm.
which was available around you.
Okay.
So avocado is not naturally
Available in India.
available in India. So it's not like your body will not be able to digest it. Of course, it will. It would not make the best use
Of that vegetable.
of that food when
Hmm.
it's available. And processed food is really, really something that you should avoid.
Okay. Uh,
So processed food, I have a question in this. Like, you
don't
get
order it
this.
now.
No, no, no. So we get this oats which is packed, right?
Yeah.
You get all kind of healthy called stuff which are packed. So how different are they? Like, at the end of the day, it's processed, right?
No. So when I say processed food, I am talking about chips. I'm talking
Hmm.
about bhujia. I'm talking about you
The
know the
snackables.
snackables, the eat right out the packet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
There's a very small process that you have to really do to consume it.
Yep.
So those foods are not really good because they have a lot of chemicals that kind of really disturb your metabolism. But very honestly, right, who cannot live without a bag of chips?
Yep.
Yeah.
Everyone wants bag of chips. I have beer, right? At times
Hmm.
I have a few drinks. I want
Hmm.
my chips. I want my the fried nuts that you get.
Yep.
Hmm.
I want to have
Happy
Masala
muruk.
nuts.
nuts.
Yeah, masala nuts. I want muruku with Szechuan sauce. So all of that, is something that will keep you happy,
Hmm.
and steering away from it is not the option. But telling yourself that I'm only going to have this much of that particular type of food, and not every day, will help you gain, some progress in that direction.
Okay. I have a follow up question. When you talk about fasting, right? Uh, you used a term that it's not starving yourself before when we earlier having a conversation, right?
Yeah,
I want you to give some more light towards that.
sure. So it again comes back to rhythm, and your body did not know that you decided
To
that
fast.
to fast for the next 24 hours,
Yeah.
Okay.
right? And that's where our traditions for me make more sense.
Hmm.
If you can think about it, right, there are certain families
Hmm.
that probably follow a Monday fast. There
Correct.
are some families that follow a Tuesday fast. There are
Hmm.
some families that follow a Wednesday fast. Apart from its religious connotation, right? If you're able, if you really want to give your body time to recover and the time to improve its metabolism, you need to have some level of fasting, maybe 6 hours, maybe 8 hours, maybe 12 hours, but it has to be consistent over a period of time.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
cannot be that I decide on Monday that I'll fast on Tuesday, and it cannot be that next week अरे Tuesday को ये function है, I'll fast on Wednesday or
Wednesday.
Thursday.
Hmm.
It's rather eat responsibly on that day and probably pick up the fast the next week. So at least your body knows that consistently on this day is when, probably I'll receive less food, and whatever I have to kind of do in fixing your body happens during that time. Now, when there is food in your stomach, right, the capacity of body to fix, issues
Hmm.
is reduced because a lot of energy is consumed over there.
Oh, so it impacts your recovery then.
Yes, it does.
Oh.
Especially, and that's where, your workout,
Hmm.
right? When you do a lot of gym, then you have muscle tear, then you kind of fast yourself,
Correct.
but you're not really fasting, you're starving because it's not consistent.
Yeah.
So your body is like, okay, I've not got food.
Hmm.
Let me
Save.
let me think what I need to do.
Ah.
Let's start burning muscle, because your body will always prioritize muscle burn before it starts burning fat.
Oh,
So
This is
bloody
new.
hell.
yeah.
This
So
is new for me. Yeah.
so what body says when you're working out, especially when you're working out, right? You tear muscles, you
Hmm.
build more muscles.
Hmm.
But when you don't work out, right? Your body says, "Hey, I don't need to maintain this. Let's reduce this."
What a stupid body, man.
And that's where, it will prioritize burning and getting the calories or whatever from your muscle than your fat, because you're not consistent. But if your body knows, right, that
Hmm.
right now it's fasting,
Hmm.
and at this time later on in the day or the next day, right, I'll get
I will
food.
get enough food.
Yeah,
Ah.
let me focus on fixing now.
Hmm.
So that's where, it's very important to have that consistent rhythm and that discipline in your life.
So, in fact, you know what, Nikhil, this really puts a larger thought into my perspective that why temples, family traditions played such an important role in our culture, right? It's
Yeah,
not just about togetherness, it's not just about family love and relationships. It has a much, much deep rooted concept into our lifestyle.
yeah,
Yes.
I mean, we never, at least, Anu, I never thought of things from this angle, right?
Yeah, I think that's why we had the moon cycle, the Ekadashis, and
Yeah, I mean, consistency was so important.
yeah,
And I don't want to digress further from our topic because
yeah.
that's a completely different topic. So, Nikhil, coming back to your life, right? Now, what this makes me think is, how do you keep it so consistent? What's the secret sauce for that? I mean, doing this once, twice, 2 weeks is sounds good,
yeah,
but the procrastinating mind will always think of a way to say कि यार आज नहीं करते छोड़ दो.
I think it's more to do with the inner devil, right? We
Yeah.
all have this inner devil
Yeah,
who will push
I
you.
think we
right?
only have devils.
Yeah.
The angels have died. So,
And
Nikhil, your angel, how does it keep your uh, ship stirred into the right direction always?
so it's I mean, I'm just repeating myself on that one point, but it's about having that discipline, right?
Okay.
You have to tell, and you have to give your body about 90 days
Hmm.
to follow or to fall into a structure.
Okay.
So if you push yourself
Hmm.
for 90 days to do
Hmm.
a task,
Hmm.
your your body will become accustomed to do that task. So that task will no longer feel like a task. It will become
Okay.
second nature to you. So most of that has come
Hmm.
from there. The motivation behind it is my daughter,
Hmm.
and because I'm not starving myself,
You're happy
I'm
basically.
not, yeah. So I'm not starving myself. I'm not, thinking about smaller rewards on cheat days, right? I'm happier.
Oh, you don't have cheat days?
No, I don't.
Wow.
I don't have cheat days. I have everything scheduled in my plan. So
Hmm.
on Thursday, I take my wife and my daughter to have chaat in the evening,
Okay.
and probably I'll have a bhel or a sev puri. So I'll have that, but it's always in around at evening at about 4 5 ish,
Hmm.
and it's probably once a week.
Hmm.
Wow.
Interesting.
That's a very deep
So
tradition,
the
that.
chart can never change into a
Yeah.
sandwich.
No, it can, but it always has to be a smaller portion,
Okay.
and it always has to be once a week.
Okay.
One thing, all of this
Yeah.
has really helped me save a lot of money. I mean,
Yeah.
it's it was amazing. It took a lot more effort to follow a diet plan, screw up on it, and spend more money
Correct.
than
Yeah.
to simplify things for yourself.
Hmm.
So, you know what? We would surely put your diet out on our Instagram page so that people can take inspiration from it. Uh, but tell me something. What sort of a proportion would food contribute to in your entire health journey? What I mean by that is, how important is nutrition and food important to your weight loss journey? Does it come on top at number one, uh, after which it will be weight training or gym or fitness training, and then further lifestyle?
Yeah,
Is food the most important part here?
absolutely. In my journey, I give about 90% importance to food,
Oh, wow.
and the rest is, say, 10% is basically workout. And there's a lot of science behind it.
Okay.
So, your body, um, if it has to spend, say, 100 units of energy, your body would generally
Hmm.
spend 70% of that in its metabolism,
Hmm.
right? Which is metabolic activities, which is basically, you sitting straight, getting up,
Hmm.
uh, then breathing, all the other bodily functions that contribute to to 70% of calories out.
Okay. So
Okay.
basically, the operations of the body itself, like
Yeah,
digesting
yeah,
food, breathing.
yeah. The next is 30%, which is nothing but your physical activity.
Okay.
So in a nutshell, you can control the 30%, but not the 70%.
Got it.
So what you can control is the calories in.
Hmm. Hmm.
So as long as you're able to control how much calories you're putting in your body,
Hmm.
as long and your output remains consistent,
Hmm.
your fat percentage will keep on reducing.
Okay.
Hmm.
So it's like a give and take system where
Yeah, calories in
and
and calories out.
out.
Yeah.
So do you count your calories now? Or like when you started, did you count your calories?
Yes. So counting calories is a very funny business. The reason I say it is because there are a lot of packaged food
Yeah.
that you will find, and it has a calorific value.
Yeah.
Uh, the way our body is functioned, right? And the way we have to calculate how much calories we need is based of food that is prepared at home
Okay.
or food in its natural form.
Hmm.
Now, once you open a bag of chips,
Hmm.
right? Although you may consume only, say, about 250 or 300 calories, which most of the small bags of chips are,
Hmm.
those calories have sugars, processed sugars.
Hmm.
Those have some emulsifiers.
Hmm.
It will have a lot of chemicals
Hmm.
that that slows your metabolism down, which affects the other food that you've consumed in the day.
Oh.
So when you're counting calories,
Hmm.
you need to understand that one, it's a ballpark,
Yeah, absolutely.
okay? And second is the calories of cooked food is different from the calories from the raw food.
Oh,
Okay.
so does it go up or does it go down? Like,
It depends upon the food. So with chicken, right?
yeah,
If it's cooked, the calories go up, but you cannot eat raw chicken.
yep.
We should give it a try.
No, I am not in for it.
But
Okay.
but you have to be very specific in how you're utilizing it.
Yeah.
And again, I don't recommend people to
Hmm.
count calories for their entire life.
Hmm. It's difficult, tedious,
It's tedious, it's unnecessary.
and it's not going to make you happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
And at the start, right? At the beginning, you don't know how much food your body actually needs to survive,
Correct. Yeah.
because we are so used to eating voluminous food that we've really lost, how much is sustaining
Hmm.
and how much is excess. That's where counting calories can give you a, a visual sight
Hmm.
of the amount of food that you actually need to consume.
Okay. So this is exactly the point where I have a thought in my mind, right? Ki you said this is what I eat,
Hmm.
right? For lunch you have dahi and a vegetable, right? Uh, does it? And you said you eat it to the point that you don't feel hungry anymore.
Yeah.
Uh, and what if you feel hungry? Will you eat more, or will
Yeah.
you restrict yourself?
No, I'll eat more.
But
Maybe that day I've walked a little extra. Maybe I just feel like eating a little more.
okay,
Right.
so you give
So
yourself that much room.
you have to give yourself that much room,
Hmm.
right? You can't be putting your mental health and happiness as a counterbalance to me being healthy.
Hmm.
They both go hand in hand.
Very interesting.
I'm a little surprised here because Anu, you know what? Most of the diet plans that I've ever heard of have always said 200 grams of this, 30 grams of this, 50 grams of this. None of them ever considered about my appetite.
Yeah.
When you go to a dietitian, they will not ask you how much hunger do you feel, right? And I don't think there's a measuring unit for
Yeah,
hunger,
yeah.
Yeah.
right? So they say कि आपको 200 ग्राम, आपको 20 ग्राम ये खाना है, 30 ग्राम ये खाना है.
I
And my
think
question is always
that's
कि यार मेरे को 100 ग्राम खाने का मूड होगा तो क्या होगा? What should I do? Should I eat more of it? I mean, suppose you tell me you eat dahi and vegetables for lunch, right?
Hmm.
What if I eat half a kg of dahi and vegetables? Will it be good for my body?
anything in excess is not good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but where how do you draw that line? What is excess and what is not?
So, yeah,
Are you
let
I
hungry?
Nikhil
think
answer.
yeah.
the question is, are you hungry? So a good question that I ask, I'm a person who really hates cauliflower.
अच्छा.
Oh,
Not
Sam, we are in
something
the
that I'm a
same
big
wagon.
fan of. So the test for me is, will I eat raw cauliflower right now?
Wow.
That will
Wow,
always
Yeah.
be
that's
no.
brutally honest, man.
Yeah. So
Seriously.
you have to really ask yourself whether you're hungry or you're addicted to the food at this point. And very honestly, if you think that you're hungry, go right ahead. Your body's telling you you need it. Have it.
Don't feel guilty about
Don't
it.
feel guilty. Don't don't at all feel guilty. Don't compromise. But be honest to yourself whether it is addiction, which means you need to eat more because मेरा mood हो रहा है आज momos खाने का. So don't do that. Do, eat what your body needs and have more consistency in what you're eating.
There are times where we have festivals, birthdays, anniversaries. How do you go about it? Like, team outing, for example, right?
Yeah.
You're going out to with a couple of friends, you gonna drink, you wanna eat whatever is made. Like, how do you kind of stop yourself, or what is the plan?
There is no plan, right? That probably that one day, if you would want to have, again, keep the principle the same. Eat till you're not hungry. And second is how we take our food. And this brings to a point that I really wanted to talk about, right? Because we are so busy in the way we really live our lives. When we go back at home and when we have sat down to have food, what we generally do is we take all that we think we would want to eat in our plate, sit and eat till the plate is clean.
Correct.
Right?
That's what we have been brought up with.
Yeah. Now you have
I-
to kind of change practices.
Okay.
So I'll tell you the way I pick up food. Okay. I know how much food I'm going to need so that I feel full. And your body is brilliant in to make that assessment. Your body knows when it's thoda zyada ya thoda kam. Your body can make that general assessment of whatever food is kept in front of you.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you pick up your plate, you take 1/3 of the quantity you think you will need at that point in time.
Okay.
Then you pick up your plate, and I generally, sit somewhere probably away from the counters of food. And I slowly have maybe a conversation with someone, and slowly have your food. Okay.
Okay.
Take time between each bites. Make a conscious decision that you'll take a bite, you'll keep your spoon down, and then you'll wait till that food is over. Then you'll pick it up, pick a spoon again, then you will eat. Right? You don't have to leave the spoon, but just keep it down.
Okay.
Okay. Once that is done, give yourself about a minute or two when your plate is clean before you go for the second round.
To think about whether you need it or not.
No, your body will know.
Okay.
You don't have to constantly think about it. Your body will know. So you go to second time, you follow the same strategy. And trust me, you will land up eating less than what you would have if you would have taken all in one go.
So, Nikhil, what about the water intake? Like, when you're having the food, at least I have this habit of sipping in water. And a lot of people have told me that that's wrong, that
Yeah.
you should not do that. So, how do you manage your water when you're having food?
Very honestly, you should not have water during or after your meal for at least 30 minutes to 45 minutes.
Okay.
And that is because your gut makes your digestive acids, and when you drink water, that kind of mellows it down. Your ability to digest it and to absorb nutrients from it decreases. So it's advisable not to do it. But if you eat a chili, of course you need a sip of water.
Yeah.
That's not going to do any good, but yeah.
Interesting.
So this is about food, right? Anything else that should be taken care while deciding your food journey?
What I would say is, go back to the food that you used to eat when you were a child. So that's been something that has really worked for me.
Okay.
So when I was growing up, my mom used to always make poha, and she used to make chila because that was the easiest thing to make in the morning with the
Correct,
least
yeah.
amount of time. In my lunch, when I used to go to school, I used to get one chapati ka roll with sabzi, and I used to get some form of, maybe a dal or kadhi, something or the other, like to something to kind of just
A
have.
saucy veggie.
Yeah, something to just have with, right? When I used to come back, right, from school, my grandpa used to walk with me.
Hmm.
He used to bring me home.
Hmm.
And while coming home, my grandpa used to kind of reward me for being good in that day by buying me whatever fruit was in season.
Okay.
Okay. In the evening,
Hmm.
generally, my grandma used to make masala chana
Hmm.
with ghee,
Hmm.
or she used to make poha or some form of the other food.
Beautiful.
And then at night, we used to eat whatever was left over from the morning, because we had very independent
Nice.
and hardworking women in our
Yeah.
home. And while they can, and it was not expected from them to really make 2 3 4 meals
Yeah.
in a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
We generally used to repeat what is made in the morning. So with a family of about 10 to 12 people that we used to stay,
Hmm.
raat ko hamesha it was only chawal and dal.
Oh.
And that's where it kind of
Came into your. It
came
got
into my.
imbibed into your
Yeah.
culture. Yeah.
So for me, that will work. And
Hmm.
it's whatever
Beautiful.
journey you choose, right? It has to be very honest to yourself. It
Hmm.
has to go back to your roots,
Hmm.
because your journey, Dave, my journey, and probably Anu's journey
It's
will be
different. Yeah.
completely different.
Hmm.
Things that probably he and his body will be able to manage, you and me won't.
I grew up on potatoes.
Yeah.
No, and in fact, I was coming to this point, Anu. Thanks for
Yeah.
highlighting it. So, if somebody grew up on potatoes, or somebody
Yeah.
grew up on rice, or somebody grew up on chapatis,
Yeah.
uh, but the modern world calls it carbs, right?
Yeah.
Carbohydrates.
Yeah.
My ancestors would have eaten it,
Yeah.
but they worked, toiled in farm, or they toiled, or they did something that I can't do
Physically
at this
straining.
point.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Should I continue eating that same food, or should I change it to my current lifestyle?
So you don't have to change. You can continue having that.
Hmm.
But I want everyone, to take this back, right? It's not the carbs, it's not, the proteins,
Hmm.
it's not all of that fun stuff. Now, there was a reason why a lot of doctors or a lot of dietitians kind of said that have more protein.
Hmm.
One is because when you work out, your body, of course, needs proteins to build muscles. However, it really, the amount of energy needed to break down protein is higher, which kind of increases your metabolic consumption of, or like spending
Hmm.
Got
of
it.
energy, right, with that food. But it's not too far away from carbs,
Hmm.
right? So if at home when you were growing up and you did not have that much quantity of carbs, and if you have that same amount of carbs right now, it will be absolutely fine, and you will not, it will not be a big impact on uh your weight loss journey, but it would be an impact if you stop doing it
Hmm.
on your overall mental happiness.
Hmm.
Got it.
So you will feel that you have sacrificed more
Hmm.
by not eating something that you really have grown up
Enjoy.
on and enjoy, by and consuming things that were really not something that you would want to consume. So it will lead to a place where you're not mentally happy,
Hmm.
and then you'll come to a point where you'll feel, you know what, fuck it, let me just have whatever I want. I
Right.
don't want to get into it. I don't want to follow this journey anymore. And that's where, you kind of steer away. So you have to build in, you know and make your diet plan around things that you like. What has also been a boon for me, because I've kind of learned how to cook as
For a
my
living.
for a living. I don't eat things outside, so
Hmm.
I make pizzas at home.
Wow.
I make pastas, whatever, right, for my family at home.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
because I've started eating more at home, one is I've saved a lot of money.
Yeah.
They are happy.
And you have mental peace
I have mental peace.
that you know whatever you're eating.
Yeah.
So we have spoken a lot about food, right?
Yep.
Should we just progress a step further and talk about the other 10%,
The workouts.
the workout?
Yeah.
I'm
The
sure you.
30%.
Oh, the 30%. Sorry.
Yeah.
So the workout. How do you decide on a workout? Do you have an instructor? Do you use an app? I'm sure there are hundreds of them in the market today.
Yeah. And you know what? I have memberships of all. So, in having those various memberships, I have seen that there is no app that is really amazing. There
Mhm.
is no app that is really bad. Most of them are like clones of each other,
Oh
right?
wow.
So there is, and we have so much information today
Hmm.
available on YouTube, and there are a lot of free applications that are available on the internet for which you don't really need to pay,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
To answer your question, what do we focus on, right? Do I want to focus on lifting up a lot of weights? Do I focus on cardio?
Yes.
Do What do I do,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
I would say do what you really enjoy doing, right? There'll be people who would really love going for walks,
Hmm.
like me and my wife. We love walks.
Hmm.
So for us, a way to unwind and to connect is a walk,
Hmm.
because we are both off our gadgets. We don't have anything to think, and we talk about the world, right? My wife, she also loves doing yoga.
Hmm.
So she does yoga a bit for meditation or whatever purpose.
Hmm.
Uh, so the bare minimum is basically walking.
Hmm.
You can get into weights,
Hmm.
but don't push yourself too hard. Uh, you you don't want to become a big bodybuilder, because again you are going to a place where the amount of weight on your bones will increase, which will
Oh.
shorten the overall goal of
Hmm.
being healthy. So even if you ask someone who is a great bodybuilder,
Hmm.
okay, and you ask him to kind of touch his toes, he might not be able to.
Yeah.
He may have six packs.
So keep your goal in mind.
Yeah,
Whatever is your goal.
yeah,
If your goal is to lose weight, then work out everything that would help you on that goal, and not just go and lift weights which would make you look more cool and just make you feel a little better at that point.
yeah.
I do have a question here. So, when I started my gymming journey, I was told that muscle mass is important, right?
Yeah.
You kind of build your muscle, and over the years that I've seen, right, as you grow older, your muscle kind of deteriorates. So, to have a toned muscle, it's important to do weights. And again, I'm not asking anyone to do ego lifting.
Yeah.
That's completely pathetic. Right, just do whatever you can, but do you think you should have some amount of muscle training involved?
Yes, yes. I kind of do it myself. I do it about 3 times a week,
Okay.
and I don't really go beyond things that are comfortable for me.
Okay.
So, uh, so progressive overloading is something that you'll hear as a term.
Hmm.
That's again something to build more muscles and to become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So taking your biceps from probably say 15 inches to 21 inches to 24, and then there is no stopping,
Yep.
right? That's not a path for everyone. That's
Hmm.
not a journey that I recommend everyone to take. So it's very important, one, to have some level of weight that you kind of pick up in the day. There has to be at least 12 to 15,000 steps that you take in a day.
Okay.
Hmm.
Rest is completely up to you.
So basically, interestingly, I heard about this topic. I was reading to the newspaper. Just be a child when you
Yeah.
want to exercise, right? Move a lot.
Yeah.
Do your things. go for a play, take football for
So
that
this is
matter.
what we understand from even the earlier topic, right?
Yeah.
As he said, eat like you ate when you were a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you said the same thing, right? When keeping your gymming goal in mind, think like a child.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think the larger problem here is that we have all forgotten our roots.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's very easy to fall prey to all
Yeah.
these new fads. And they, in my eyes, I've seen they doing more harm
Yeah.
for a larger chunk than doing the good for the smaller chunk.
Yeah, I think everybody, see, what happens is, I don't blame the brands as well, right?
Yeah.
A person like me would walk to a dietitian or open an app and say, this is what I want to achieve.
Yeah.
Now they are mass market apps, right?
Yeah.
They are not here to, they may say it 100 times that they customize things, but it's not in their control.
Yeah.
They don't know my family history, they don't know my body, they don't know how I've been brought up.
Hmm.
So they have no knowledge of it. It is we who have to take our own responsibility and decide the way forward for us.
Yes.
So we blindly go on an app, try to do everything that they say. And again, it's like buying a ready-made t-shirt, right? Fitting में थोड़ा compromise तो होगा.
Huh.
If you want something that fits you perfectly, you will have to go through your own rigor of purchasing a fabric, going to a tailor, getting it measured and done for yourself.
That's a brilliant analogy. I completely understand, and I bang on.
So that's the same thing, right? And if you want to continuously be at it, as he said, do what you feel happy for, do what makes you happy.
Yep.
And just do it consistently.
Yep.
If you do these two things, I think you should be well taken care of, because the goal here of this podcast is not to tell you how to bulk up and win Mr. America or Mr. India,
Yeah.
but it is just how to stay healthy.
Yes.
Yeah. So Nikhil, that's what we had planned for today. Any thoughts from your end? Anything that you want to add on?
I think we've covered, length and breadth
Yeah.
of this. So there may be more things that probably the audience would want to talk about, and probably we may be able to get some questions and answers probably later.
Yeah. So absolutely, what we'll do is we have added Nikhil's diet plan and a few more thoughts from him on our Instagram page. Please go have a look at them, share your thoughts, comment. Do write into us if you need any further support from Nikhil. I'm sure he will be
More than happy to
happy to support you. And please understand, this podcast is based on his personal experience. Neither of us on this podcast is a qualified fitness consultant or qualified enough to give you information on this topic. Whatever today is being shared on this podcast is completely out of personal experience
His journey.
and his own journey.
Yep.
Before you start on any journey, it is always good to consult your physician and your doctor to see if it suits you and it works for you. And if you need any further help, please do write into us. As we always say, please do share, do like, share, and subscribe to the DNA show. Visit our Instagram page to know more about this episode and all the other episodes that are live. That's it, guys. Thanks a lot, Nikhil, again for doing this.
Thank you, Nikhil. Thank
Thanks,
you so
Dave.
much.
Thanks,
so
Anu.
much, Anu.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
And that was Dave and Anirudh, your hosts for the DNA Show. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to rate us on your streaming platform. This episode was recorded at manicpod Studios. Your executive producers are Ankita Dwivedi and Jayashree Pisharadi, and your sound engineers are Rohit Das and Manak Chakraborty. The production for this podcast was coordinated by Arnav Dogra. Stay tuned in for more exciting content.